Liability is my car a liability? Is where I live a liability? That is exactly what we're going to be talking about today. Is my car and my house finance 101. What's the difference between liability and an asset, and how should you feel about money? So if you guys want to learn right along with me everything about finance and how to grow together in finance, I'm not an expert, but I'm learning myself by reading different books and doing the work. And if you guys want to learn along with me, then subscribe to my channel so we can keep this conversation going. And thank you so much, all of you who have subscribed. It not only helps on my channel keep this channel going, but it lets me know that you guys like this content, and it keeps me continue to make better content for you guys. So with that said, let's continue. So is this car a liability or an asset? See, a lot of people view this as an asset, and then a lot of people view their home as an asset instead of liability. That isn't really an asset. Is your car really an asset? We're going to be talking about money mistakes people make 101 and what we can do to fix it and how we're going to fix it. That is exactly what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to give you guys a couple pointers, like 5 tips on how to make money work for you and not have money, not you working for money. Because right now, let's face it, we are all working for money. Our money's tied up. They're the boss. So if you have $1 to spend, you really don't. Because as soon as you spend that $1, guess what? You're cringing. That $1 went straight to the gutter, because now you're like, oh my God, I forgot I had this bill to pay. Oh my God, I gotta pay rent. Oh my God, I gotta pay this. And all of a sudden bills start piling up, and we live like the Jones. Society tells you to live like the Joneses. Buy this new latest phone. You can pay it later. You can get this later. Get this credit card. It gives you 5% cash back when you apply and you buy today on groceries, on things you need. It's an incentive. Yeah, it sounds nice, and they always get you to want to buy and spend more. But in reality, your money's telling you something and you're not listening. See, we got to learn to understand money and what money can do for us in order to grow in our finances. So we'll begin in a second, and with that said, I'll see you guys in a minute. So right now you're probably wondering why I have this. I didn't go to Starbucks. I didn't go to Dunkin' Bros. I did not go to Dutch Bros. I got my coffee here at home and I made it, and it cost a lot less than $5 just to make it. I bought my favorite creamer. I put no sugar, just regular Folgers coffee, and it's good to go. And indulge in your favorite flavors. It's actually better than going to Starbucks, in my opinion, if you want to learn how to save money. You got to know where it's at. First, you got to learn where you spend most of your money. You got to print out a little guide, shows you where you spend most of your money. Whether it may be eating out, your groceries, buying things that you really don't need, and analyzing your budget. So the first thing is we got to understand where our money is going. So first thing is where your money is going. Analyzing your budget and figuring out where you're throwing your money away. Because right now we are working for money. Money is not working for us. So I'm outside. And I think it's really pretty outside, so I'm outside. So I think it's great to be outside. So one of the things that I want to talk about is what works for us. How do we spend our money? I learned that I spend most of my money on eating out more than I do. I eat food. It's where I spend my money. Then I don't need to, when I could be at home making my lunches, but I'm too lazy and I need to get out of that mindset because I'm too tired all the time. I've been working in heavy machinery. So I have to understand how to train my mind and my body, even though I'm tired, to keep pushing myself to making my own lunches. It's not only going to be beneficial for me. Look at the view. Isn't that nice? It's also going to help me have money more in my pocket. And that's what we eventually want, is more money in our pockets. When we go out to eat every day for lunch, it's maybe $5 here, $5 there, but everything adds up. And at the end of the day, we end up with, oh my God, I just spent $1,500 on food alone or something, because you don't realize that $5 eventually add up to more. And those $5 are not accumulating fast enough to where I replaced it fast enough. Yeah, you may work overtime. People say, oh, I'm going to work overtime. We forget. No, there's no taxes on overtime. But before there was taxes on overtime, taxes get deducted, and the more you work, the more you pay into taxes. And you have to also understand, step 2 is understanding taxes and the way taxes work and why they work. So that way you can learn to avoid paying taxes like the rich people. See, this is why people get mad, because they say, oh, they're so rich. These rich people don't pay taxes. Well, as I've been doing my research, they're actually smart people. And that is the smartest things. There's different ways to make things. That's why they consider themselves corporations for a reason. It's because they get help from the government when you become a corporation or learn how to. And it helps you get helps you not only get subsidies, helps for all this taxes that you don't have to pay. Now, I don't know everything about taxes. I'm still learning myself. So if you guys have any information that you guys want to put about taxes that's factual, that's knowledgeable, that helps, you're more than welcome to do so. So it is crazy how we don't understand money. And second is understanding money. And what I mean by that is, whenever you get a check in the mail, because I just got 2 checks in the mail, and they're from a lawsuit from our store. We did not know that we were getting unexpected income that was just unexpected. And I'm like, thank you, Jesus. But when you get an unexpected check and people start talking about it, this is something that I noticed. People were talking about it at work. Oh, I got a check in the mail. You better check your mail. Checks are going to keep coming in. And I was waiting and waiting and waiting. I realized, what am I doing waiting for a check that may not even come? What am I doing even thinking about that money when I already spent it in my head and it's already gone? Really, I spent it, and I shouldn't have never spent it. Even though I logically didn't spend it, I mentally spent it. I'm already mentally thinking of how I'm going to use that money, and it's not in a good way. You see, we have to learn to stop to start thinking as money as that way. Like, as soon as you get money, you find money on the floor, you get all excited. Yes, it's a good thing to be excited about, but at the same time, how are you going to spend that money? When you go to the casinos and you win an extra $100 or whatever, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, you're like, now I can do this, now I can pay this, and then some people indulge and, I can win more money, and then it becomes a habit. So we have to understand money and how it makes us feel. Sometimes some people cringe when they hear money, because it makes them think, oh my gosh, I don't have enough money, I can't afford this, I can't do this, I can't do that, and they cringe. Third is, we have to see how we spend our money. Even though you just checked on where your money is going, we have to be responsible and wise with our money. Are we putting more money out than we're putting money in our pockets? So that's the last thing is I want to talk about, is how much money are you keeping in your pockets, and how much money are you throwing away? Because reality, we overspend. Guilty. Like I said, going out to eat, it's a guilty pleasure for me, because I'm too lazy to make my own lunches. I make my husband's lunches all the time. Like, I think it's something that I love doing. It's something that I think it's important for me to do. I love that he goes to work for us, but when it comes to myself, I'm like, I don't want to make my lunch. I don't know what it is. I need to get out of that mindset. Anyways, do you guys feel that way? Let me know in the comments if you guys ever feel that way. So what is it? We need to start teaching and giving ourselves incentives small incentives that help us reach our financial goals. We need to start thinking of goals, setting goals. My goal is to get 5 new subscribers on this channel, for instance. So if you guys want to subscribe to the channel to keep this conversation going, then don't forget, you guys can subscribe to the Facebook channel, to the Dinky Show, so you guys can learn and engage and have fun with me. It keeps my conversation going. Now, second is my hair is a mess and I have gray hair. So anyways, besides that, we're just spending money on things. We're buying new cars that we can't afford. There's a thing that I've learned on this book that I'm reading is if you have to make a payment because you want this car, then you can't afford it. Because you got to remember there's interest rates. So let's say you go out and you buy a 2025 Honda Odyssey. Let's just say that's the car you want. And so you go buy this Honda Odyssey and it's for your family and you think that's the car you need. So you go out and you buy it and let's say it's 50, in the 50 range. Well, you make the minimum payments because you have okay credit. Let's just be realistic. You don't have the greatest credit, but you have okay credit. And so your minimum payments are $300 to $200. So you give every check, you give minimum payments of $250. So let's say that's your minimum payment. So you give $250 every check. But then interest rates are $200. So your interest rates go up. So now you see a subsidy in the bottom that says $100. And you're like, I just paid $250. Why is my car value not going down on my car payment? And then all of a sudden you see that you paid $250, but your car payment went back up to the same amount. And you're like, dude, because of the high interest. So technically you're just paying the interest rate. You're not paying off your car. Then you start to think, how am I ever going to pay for this car payment? Because it keeps not wanting to go down. Millions of Americans have this problem. My family members, my brother actually was one of them. And my dad told him, you're just better off either refinancing it and then paying it off that way and then selling it. And everything you get from that car, sell it. Or you better yet, just sell it and get yourself a car that you can afford, which is a nice car. And he goes, what is that? A car that you don't have to make a payment. I have 2 cars. One, I don't make a payment on. The other one, I'm almost done paying it. I paid half of it. It was $7,000. So I paid half. I paid $5,000. And then now I only owe $1,000 left. And I started to realize this with my own self. I started to make the minimum payments. And I started to realize that interest rate. And it wasn't going down until I realized, oh, that's how it works. So I made more than just the minimum payment. And I made, instead of my minimum payments are $150, so I made $200 the payment every paycheck. That's how I'm paying off my car. Now, I only did it this way because I'm making a payment on this car only for one thing. My credit score needs to improve. And it's at the 700 range, and I want to get it to the 750, 780, or 800 range. And that's what I was researching, thinking it was going to work for me. So far it has, because I haven't missed a payment. But that's the only reason why I did it this way, because I didn't owe a lot of money to begin with to where I couldn't afford this car. Even though I said if I had to make a car payment, I can't afford it. But this is different, because I was able to maintain something. I was able to maintain the interest rate down to where I was able to afford it. Now, when you have such a high car amount, it's not going to happen. You know, when you buy a brand new car and your car is 50, 40, or in the 22 range, you probably have to give half of your paycheck just to be able to get it to where the interest rates is not piled on. Maybe like $600 a month, and your monthly payment is $200. If you give $400, you're like, that's my whole check practically, because you only make so much money. For a lot of people, they can't afford that, so they only do minimum payments, and that's how they get stuck affording a car they cannot afford. I hope this video helps you guys. And the next thing we want to talk about is buying assets and not liabilities, and water assets, and defining water liabilities. Hope you guys enjoy this. I'll see you guys later. Don't forget, you guys can also give me stars, and that only helps my channel and keep the conversation going. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.